He's an old head.
Youngins are really starting to get on my damn nerves.
He's a purveyor of nonsense. He's a Georgia High School coaching job influencer. His favorite Bible verse is, Jesus wept. He's the man of constant sorrow, Chris Lamb.
Yeah.
Welcome to episode 12 of Sun Coaches Podcast, where today got Coach Rod Harris, the assistant head coach and assistant athletic director at Peach County High School in Fort Valley, Georgia. I was fortunate enough to work with Rod and meet Coach Harris at Northside Warner Robins about 4 or 5 years ago. And he is an entrepreneur. He's one of the funniest people I've ever met. One of the smartest people I've ever met. And one of the best humans I've ever met. And I hope y'all enjoy. He dropped some wisdom on us today. Rod, thanks for being with us.
Well, thank you, man. I really appreciate you introducing me in a way in which I'm trying to figure out exactly who you're talking about. But you did say my name, so we're gonna try to do the best we can. I just appreciate you having me.
Coach, I know that you graduated from Jones County High School, and after that, you went on to play. Where?
I went to the University of Tennessee at Martin. So I was in Martin, Tennessee. And everybody knows Knoxville, of course, and familiar with the Vols. I was in Martin, Tennessee. I started out as a pacer and became a Skyhawk. And they're still currently the Skyhawks, and small time out of West Tennessee.
What position did you play? How did that work out?
Well, started out playing strong safety. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and we graduated a couple of guys. Going into my redshirt sophomore year, and one of the coaches, my defensive back coach, said, they discussed it as a staff, and they wanted to, see how I felt about going to cornerback. And I said, man, I haven't played cornerback since, my first 2 years of high school. I said, but if that's what y'all need me to do, we can practice it this spring and see how it go. And the rest is history. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Being on that island, and it was a competition, one-on-one deal. We were going from, strictly zone to man-to-man, and, I had fortunate to have some speed. I ran track in high school, and that's one of the things that landed me there, because I had some speed and, somewhat strong, so I could run with it. Most of the receivers, I say anybody, that sounds a little cocky, but, I did have to line up against Terry Owens as a freshman, and he's a big dude. But
that ain't bragging if you can do it.
Yeah, he didn't outrun me, but he was a lot bigger than I was. But and surprised, of course, he played tight end for UT Chat, but that was my very first game as far as as a freshman. We were on Sports South, that was a big deal at the time, but I was still at strong safety when that happened. So I had to line up, and he was an attached tight end. And, when he came off the ball and stood up, I said, man, this is a little different, because it was basically a big receiver. But like I say, thoroughly enjoyed that. Finished up at cornerback, and just went straight into coaching. I graduated on a Saturday, and I was cleaning a field house out, not expecting it to be that quick on Monday. I had to, my parents came up for graduation. We were going to leave from there and go to Florida. I don't think we ever went to Disney World after that, now that I think about it. So I think they owe me a trip. But but I had to, jump right into the coaching ranks if I wanted that job. And that job came up, took it. That was at Martin Middle School. So I was the head coach. I interviewed for the job. I'm working at Domino's Pizza, and I'm very wealthy at the time because I'm still on scholarship. And I look in the paper. I said, let me get a job and just kind of make some extra money before I had to start paying bills, you know. And so, so I get a job at Domino's, and like I say, I'm wealthy. I'm getting all this tip money and all this money delivering pizzas. And a young lady comes and picks her pizza up, and she starts to discuss opportunities at the middle school. And I said, well, I'll look into it. And I talked with my football secretary, Vicky, and she said, well, Coach, Rod, you want to, go help out at the middle school. So it was the second time somebody had brought it to my attention. I said, yeah, I'll go over there and help out, enjoy it, and kind of start learning a little something. And I sit down for the interview, and I had on a collar shirt at least. And they were interviewing for a head coach, athletic director for the middle school. And like I said, I'm fresh, getting ready to graduate. And I said, you got to be kidding me. So I talked to the principal and told him, I said, man, I think that might be a bit much for me because, I'm new to this. And he said, we talked. He said he think I'd be a great fit. And we went from there. So at the middle school, I'm the head football coach, athletic director, and I'm the assistant DB coach at the high school. So I started out, like a lot of guys did. And I thank God for that start because it helped me learn a lot of different things. I worked with some really good seasoned coaches. The head DB coach was the assistant principal. So, we go back to those days and you look up and you better have a plan for practice because, he may get called to go do something for his assistant principalship and now you stuck. And so it was really good because we inherited the old high school and where we practiced at as far as the middle school. And there's a little backcountry road, about a little bit less than a mile. I would jog from there. And when I get up to the high school, they were finishing offensive practice. So I could be there for defensive practice. So, you learn a lot, man. And that little time, man, was so valuable for me in my career. Learned a lot from them guys.
And where did you go after that?
After that, I moved to Memphis for about 45 minutes, Coach. That's how long I was in Memphis. I realized, I said, we had some things going on in Memphis. And I said, well, it's a nice place. I lived on the outskirts and me and Memphis didn't get along too well. It was fun when you visit, when you're in college. But as a grown man, I said, no, I'm not quite used to some of the stuff going on in Memphis. I'm going to make my way back home and regroup. So I came back to Georgia in 2001. And so I left Georgia 93 from Jones County, went to UT Martin and finished up and all that and came back and worked, fortunate enough to get a job at McAvoy Middle School, Southwest Feeder School at that time. The school is no longer up. They've torn it down. But that's where I got my start back here in Georgia at McAvoy Middle School. Once again, athletic director, head football coach, and being an athletic director, if you don't want to lose a sport, you better have a coach for it. So I've coached baseball and track at the same time. I'm multitasker because I didn't want to lose the sport. So I went football, wrestling, track, and baseball. So I had to find a baseball coach to help me, and I employed my dad to do the baseball team. Yeah,
just to make sure those kids were gonna get to play.
They're gonna get a chance to play. So
that's important.
Yeah, and so we would start out one or the other. It'd be track practice or either baseball. And then when my dad came, because he was still working at the railroad, and I'd let him take over baseball and I go finish up track. So, good times, man. But it's amazing when you think back on it. Some of the crazy things you did.
Right. So how long were you there?
I was at McAvoy. I taught at McAvoy for 3 years, and then I talked with the then athletic director. I asked her to, what I needed to do to get back, at the high school level. I wanted to go back to high school and just kind of go from there. And she said, you can go to Southwest, which was great because you knew all the kids. But the stipulation on it, Coach, was I had to teach elementary PE, and that was a little different. So I taught at Brookdale for two years, Brookdale Elementary, but I coached at Southwest, so I was there, and then from Southwest, that's how I landed in Houston County School System, because I left there and I ended up at Perry High School in 2006. That's my first season there.
Who was the head coach when you got to Perry?
Andy Scott was the head coach there, and you know, he was a Middle Tennessee State guy, so I had to hear a lot about that because we only beat him one time when I was in you know, at UT Martin, so I had to hear a lot about that. But hey, I held on to that one victory, doggone it. But but
that is where you met the crew.
Yeah, that was you know, a turning point of my life, and we're gonna say in a positive way. When you start listing names, that's something else. The likes of Chad Alligood, Sam Saeed, Kevin McDavis, you know, Torrey Howard. You just keep going, and that's the, you know, a Northside crew in which we work, you know, together in different facets throughout the years, other than Perry. But it's been amazing to still have a good relationship with all those guys, you know, in our travels. But yeah, that's what we got together, and you know, I don't think we tormented too many kids, but we have some out there that you know, hopefully they doing well today as adults.
Coach Scott told me that you and Sam were notorious for pulling pranks on some of the other coaches on the staff.
Yeah, we didn't limit it to just the coaches. We kind of did the kids also, but yeah, we did a good job of keeping things kind of loose, and one of the biggest, well, not biggest prank, one of the ones that didn't go as well as I thought it was gonna go with Casey Hayward. He I don't know, but for some reason he felt like he was, you know, going to continue to do small little pranks on me, you know, in the classroom, down in the weight room. You know, I couldn't find a pen, couldn't find a pencil. You know, you don't have to write as much, you know, if you're in the classroom, but what's going on? And so I called him one day. I said, that's who been taking my pens and pencils. I saw Casey take them. And, you know, and I said, all right, I got him. So he had some brand new shoes, and you know how the kids are with the shoes. And so I took his shoes, and Sam Saeed and I, of course, you know, it's a bad combination. I took his shoes and brand spanking new, and we got him. We got some water, and it took too much time because we should have been teaching, I think. But I found a way to get water in his shoes, and it was staying for a little while, and I put them in the freezer. And so he had ice shoes, and he didn't think it was funny because they were brand new. So, but I thought it was pretty funny because I said, first of all, it was amazing to get this water in these shoes to stand up like that. And so that was one. But I mean, we go on and on and on. And to this day, our kids understand that, you know, me and Sam Saeed, you know, we don't get along well at all. We never have. And kids, we explain to kids that both of us, you know, were on probation for the United States government because of just some strange things that occurred when he and I met. So he tells his side of the story, and then I tell my side of the story, and it has something to do with, you know, my NFL career, which I'm pretty sure if you look it up, you'll find it. But it's very short. It doesn't exist. But those kids thought that, I told him that he was my agent, and he tried to do some things in which got us all in trouble, and got us in trouble with the government. And so we had to work together so we can, you know, keep our probation straight. So, and that's why we didn't get along. But, you know, they said, well, it's funny now, you know, they see the coaches out at Sonny's or somewhere, and they say, Coach, why you got? And we would explain to them that, you know, we have to do this because our the terms of our probation says we have to at least eat once or twice a month together. And so they, you know, they bought into it. And the kids coming in, they said they would call him the coach because they couldn't say his name in my room, and in his room they couldn't say my name. So I think we tormented more kids than we did adults, but we had a good time. We had a good time, and like I said,
there was a famous Christmas card.
I'm gonna keep it PG, but that was some Christmas cards, some birthday cards, and we just wanted to let each other know exactly how we felt about one another as far as those cards were concerned. and so yeah, it was a lot of different things, man. Cards, whenever we get a new student, Sean Masters was never, he would send them either to my room or Saeed's room or, to Mac Davis, and that child would be tormented that day, brand new to the school, and trying to find either Coach Saeed, Mac Davis, or whoever, and none of us would know who that person is. And so we had one child, she just couldn't take it no more. She walked back to the office and just said, I can't find this coach. And it just so happened to be me on that one. I stopped on it. And that child walked all over the school trying to find me. So it was not good because the principal walked the child to my room. I said, I'll be dog of all times. So Christmas cards, emails, just it was a mess. And like I said, just thoroughly enjoyed that crew, man. Thoroughly enjoyed that crew.
Well, things you got to do to get through the dog days, like now.
Right.
January to spring practice.
Yeah.
If you're not doing something else.
Well, the thing is, you have to have, that variety of, coaches on your staff. You got to have, and I'm one of those old heads, and I'm happy to be able to say it because, the new ones that, they want to talk ball at lunch. They want to, they want to get on the board and all this and that. And that's, man, I don't want to. It's my lunch period. I want to sit down. I want to, and they look at you like, Coach, you really don't want to talk ball? No, I don't. I want to, how's your family? What's going on with your children? We got some young coaches who, newlyweds, new parents, and just, let's talk about different things like that. I may have a little bit of advice for you. You can use it or not, as far as how the kids are going, what the, certain things and to not fight with the wife about, just those type of things. So it's some good that comes out of having that guy with a, tad bit of wisdom. We screwed up enough. I will say that.
Oh, yeah.
And we know that. So don't do this. You may have that more than anything. But I just, like the situation I'm in now, we have a real good mixture of some new coaches, some in the middle of the career, and then some towards the end. And just trying to make sure they understand certain things, on the football field. For some reason, man, they don't move their goalposts. And them hash marks, they're the numbers. And so you're going to run stuff offensively based off of landmarks. We're going to try to, defend it and everything. But January 31st, I want to know how your family doing, man. What's the latest joke you heard? We do enough of it. And I try to be careful with our kids also because, you look up, it's year round. There's no doubt it's year round. And they need to see that other side of Coach Harris too, though. And that's why I enjoy, track. I enjoy track because of that. You're able to, do those things. I kind of hang out with, my co-workers when they coaching, like Coach Hudson. He's coaching girls basketball. That was not in the plan. But, hey, it's a great, thing because we get to know that side also, not just the guys, and then, you build your track team and now you're having fun, and it's not as, strenuous as football and certain aspects of it. So, but they need to see that other side of you, so, that's it. It's just a good mixture of guys, man. And that staff enjoyed, hanging out with one another. We, like this year, we went up to Top Golf, and my golf game, Coach. It don't exist. And I live on the golf course, and people know that. And I said, well, you should be able to play better. No, I'm still enjoying it, so I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna stick with that. And so we did different things as a new staff. Piggyback off some of the old stuff. You talk about that crew in Perry. Now we got after it now. you know, in the classroom. We got after it, you know, on the board, trying to come up with good schemes and try to make sure these kids were taken care of. But we went to that lake house when Allie Good had it, and we got after it there too. So it didn't stop. You know, whatever we did at full speed, and we thoroughly enjoyed one another. And I think that is what built that friendship that's still lasting, of course, to this day.
Well, I know y'all played cards and hung out, watched games, and still do.
You're right. We still try to get together and you know, reminisce and then bounce ideas off one another now. And you know, you and I've had these conversations. It's funny because you transition now. You every now and then you're gonna talk about a little retirement, you know, and I had to learn a lot from a Estes, you know, over at Northside, and Mark Estes and Coach Pope at Northside. You know, he just retired, so you know it's funny how those conversations change. You know, you still enjoying it because I don't do poker because I can't stand losing money. I can't stand losing a penny. So there's no need of me sitting at the table because I have no idea what I'm doing. I could win and didn't even know it. So, you know.
Sound like me.
Yeah, so I don't sit at the table, but I come over there and crack a joke and make you laugh and get out of there, you know. But, and so, you know, everybody had their own cup of tea as far as that part. But like I said, just that camaraderie and you know, we just enjoy it as a coaching staff. You know, you may not want to, you know, go up to Topgolf. You may not want to, you know, meet at, you know, Rigby's for the pool gathering for the guys at the water park. It's just, you know, it's not your thing, but it's best that you do as much of it as you can so you can not only, you know, be around those kids and see a different side, being around your coaching staff too to kind of get that, because we all need that outlet and whatever that is.
And that's what I worry about with some of these young coaches. A lot of them is they're missing out on that part.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I see them at the clinic. They're the same way. It's like, man, y'all need to have a good time.
Right.
I mean, there's time to learn and all that. But it's a game. Let's enjoy each other.
Yeah, Coach, you talk about clinics. I've worked at Glazier Clinic last year and working at this one coming up in Atlanta, and it still holds true. You can sit down in the lobby with DT and get all the football you need because that's where he's going to hold court along with some other guys, you know. And talking about David Thrower, you know, he taught me a long time ago that, you know, we was at Perry on my way out of there. He said, man, just sitting down talking with one another is the best coaching clinic. And it still holds true. You know, it's pretty good to go in there and listen to some, you know, some of the college guys, some of the, you know, the high school guys who's successful or who's done something that, you know what I mean, that you may be interested in. It's still pretty cool to do it. But I think it's so much more valuable when you, like I say, you sit down and you may shoot the breeze a little bit, but it's, like I say, it's not as stressful. You know, I may not have to write down one note because everything he's saying, man, I'm soaking it up because I've either done that, called it something different, screwed it up, or had some success from it every now and then. And man, so how did you get this across to your kids? You know, a lot of times you're not hearing that from that speaker. You're hearing it from, you know, the guy that invited you to the room so you can, you know, we may not write on that mirror anymore, but, you know, we still can talk ball. And there's nothing wrong with it, you know, bouncing ideas off of one another. But just like you said, those young guys, they, you know, they're gung-ho like we were. And, you know, but now let me show you this other side to this thing now. You know, sometimes when this coach start talking, I just sit down, shut up and listen now. You know, you don't have to say anything. Just shut up. You got everything you need right here, you know. And so, and that's what, you know, that's what we try to get them to understand. You know, a lot of times. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
And so I was going to say, just a lot of times, you know, you learn so much because you just in that room and, you know, thank God you were in there, you know. I don't run the wing tee or anything, but, you know, you look up and you hear those guys, they talk about it and defend it. Now, here you are, you're in round 3, you know, going against the wing tee and you know, you just so happen to write down a little note or something, or you can make that phone call. You built that relationship with whomever, you know, Roger Holmes, you know, all those guys. I mean, they you know, they still gung-ho about what they do. I was just in a meeting with him, and like I said, in that meeting, I ain't say a word. I listened. You know, he's talking about different things, talking about his clinic, talking about that, and it's still good for those guys, you know, to understand there's another offense out there. You know, it's more than one now. So, you know, I don't do that. Well, you never know, because those are the kids that you have all of a sudden. And now you built that bridge, and you can go back to that guy and get that offense or that defense or that information. So just really trying to hone that in on that younger guy, the younger generation.
Relationships.
That's it. You got to keep building. You can't, like I said, just try not to burn those bridges, and just get some understanding, you know. Just get understanding, and you keep the relationship going. You don't have to bother anybody. First of all, you're probably not bothering another coach. It's just, sometimes they want to sit down and talk, you know, ball. Sometimes they don't.
And then you left Perry and went to Hoco.
Yeah, I very fortunate to get that opportunity. I know, you know, we talk a lot about classifications and stuff like that, and you know, I went from 4A to 6A, and now you're lining up against, you know, your Lee Counties, your Valdosta, and all those at that time, you know, and you know, you got a in-county rivalry a little bit more. Perry was kind of all to the side. You know, our rival was Peach, even though they beat us 28 years in a row, which I still don't understand that. But hey, you know, but we were able to break the streak. But then, you know, it seemed like everybody was gunning for Hoco, and you know, just whoever we played. So when we played one of Robbins, it seemed like a rival game. Played Northside, seemed like a rival game, and you learn quick. You got a guy who, you know, builds a name for himself, and, you know, here we go. And so I'm fortunate to have some guys, you know, previous, but, you know, I got there. Jake was a freshman, you know, Jake Fromm's a freshman. I go through all his years, and then Rigby, you know, comes on. He's our quarterback now. And so, you know, you have some good guys at that position in which, you know, you're going to have a chance to win some ball games. And we were very fortunate to win some. I tell people all the time, I felt like we should have had at least 2 state championships with Jake, and then one when Rigby's senior year. So that should have been 3. And you know, it's everybody can blame this and blame that. And, you know, unfortunately, I've been in some situations. I mean, 2 of them at Perry, and then the 3 we just talked about at Hoco, where, you know, it was some, you know, kids going to make mistakes. That's just, you know, they're a high school football player. That's going to happen. But it's unacceptable when, you know, we do certain things as coaches, as they're professional, to kind of, you know, ruin it. So, you know, we had a little mixture of those things. And unfortunately, you know, we didn't get those state championships. But, you know, it helps you in your 26-year career to, you know, pass that knowledge on to that young coach, you know, and it's just, you know, I pick at Coach Westbrook now. You know, everybody don't coach for 6 straight state championships. It's just, you know, it's just unheard of. But when you do, hold on to it, because you don't know what in the world gonna happen next year, you know. And so I learned a lot, because we had a lot of success, you know, with that group of kids, you know, Kenny Gant and you know, and a host of others, Wesley Steiner, you know, just guys who went on to play college ball, and you know, have one at Michigan State right now playing defensive back. You know, it just, people don't really celebrate those things, you know, anymore like we do as coaches. You know, we have a kid who's able to go on and you know, just do something for himself as well as his family. You know, he may be the first to get a degree, first to go off to college. You know, you celebrate those things. At Hoco, we were able to build the track program, and I mean, it's not rocket science, coach. We, you know, I get there and I'm the assistant track coach, and then guys take different jobs, and 12 hours later, I'm the head coach for girls and boys, and the girls are really, really good. I mean, they are go-getters. They want to tear your head off in track, which is great. I can coach these young ladies. And my guys are awful. I mean, they were awful. And so, you know, I go in, I understand what we're doing in baseball at that time. I understand that, you know, got a good soccer team. And I said, well, the guys, I said, listen, you know, we got 6 or 7 people weights. And I said, everybody stand up for them. If you play baseball, go over here. And everybody heard this, you know, just, have a similar story. You know, you play soccer, go over to this corner. And everybody who remained, congratulations, you on the track team. Because I refuse. Yeah. I said, I refuse to go ahead and get my brains beat out now on purpose. I'm not choosing to go ahead and just get toe up, you know. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, man, you got 60 boys on the track team, 50 girls on the track team, and you look up and, man, you pushing for region titles and possibly winning state, you know, and just enjoying. So HOCO was a big learning experience, obviously, and just some ups and downs here with and you know, learn about personnel. That one guy, you know, we lose because of a bad decision. We lose a running back going into the Stockbridge game, and then Stockbridge didn't realize that guy was actually not playing until late in the second quarter. And so D1 Darren Anderson, he's having a game of his life for the first quarter and most of the second, and then they said, well, shoot, how about we just not only double team, let's triple team, you know, in certain cases. And because the running back that we prepare for, he's not back there, because we could throw a swing pass to Kenny, and I promise you he's going to get 25, 50 yards. I mean, just he had that kind of talent. But, you know, like I said, due to a bad decision, he wasn't able to play in that game, and that you know, ended that, which was one of our best teams. You know, when we think the following year we go and play Allatoona, and my best tackler and still to this day, 2024, can tackle that doggone quarterback. He can't tackle and save his life. The quarterback ran forever. He's still running. I hope he's okay, because we almost killed him from letting him. I mean, we couldn't tackle him. And everybody for Allatoona was coming off an injury. The big time tight end, he got a bad knee and all this and that, and I'm concerned about him. So we didn't design a defense to say, you know what, we're going to prepare as if everybody is healthy. You know, that's the best thing to do. And I'd be darned if he was a decoy, and you could tell that, you know, he was still a little hurt. Great hands. But we didn't prepare for not being able to tackle the quarterback. I said, I'll be dog. And I mean, the kid ran the ball a little bit, you know, on film, but nothing bad. But they had a great game plan, and for whatever reason, we have him in a phone booth, man. He get out of that thing, and you know, and so that happened. Then, you know, Rigby senior year, we line up against doggone the Warriors of I just went against them in Special Olympics basketball.
Harrison.
Say again? Harrison, yeah. And we just, that was one of those things where we, you know, I thought we had probably one of the best plans, you know, to defend, you know, stuff they did and with their personnel, and they, you know, we just made a couple more mistakes. They didn't, and 17-14, something to that, you know, degree. But you know, and then, of course, when you get beat by those teams, they go on, and Stockbridge didn't, but they go on to win the state championship, and you're sitting at the, you know, watching it on TV, and it's like, that should have been us. Well, it's not. So, you know, well, like I said, you know, with coaches who went on and done this, because I didn't say this earlier, but my first two years, I'll tell you now, I thought that's just how it was going to be, man. You go and you play 10 games, then you get in the playoffs and you run the table, and there it is. You state champion. Let's do it again next year, you know. Well, do it again next year. You lose it, but hey, you know, you there. So year 3, let's go. We're going to win it. You know, we're going to win it. And then all of a sudden, you know, you have a little drought where, you know, that's just not the case. And so, you know, it's just amazing how, you know, things change, you know, with kids, you know, a move in, a kid to get hurt, you know, it just affects whatever. So when you have it, hold on, man. Hold on and enjoy it.
Well, then you got reunited with the crew. That's where I met you.
Yeah, we, you know, we laugh and joke about this, Coach Alligood and I, but we are playing against one another, and the winner of that game is going to go to the playoffs, and we fortunately win the game. But coming down the sideline is Alligood bringing the quarterbacks out and all that, and you know the relationship me and Alligood have. Of course, we're gonna shake hands and say good luck real quick, you know, and he whispered in my ear, say, "Hey man, it's possibility of, you know, this right here occurring, yada this, yada that." Well, basically him, you know, possibly getting the job there, and, you know, wishful thinking, of course. You know, it's November. And he said, you know, "Are you in?" And I told him yes. So basically we had an interview right there on the sideline. Interview went well. You know, it's probably the quickest interview in history. But but just to have that opportunity to get back with those guys, man, was just, I mean, just a blessing. And you know, once again, you kept kept that bridge, and just having that opportunity to go there, still in 6A, so you kind of familiar with you know, ball, but learning, you know, how everything work at a north side with that type of history, and you know, just those type of things. And when I say history, just the, you know, the being of the school itself, you know, and how people feel about that place. That was one of the best things to probably, you know, start me out there. Unfortunately, of course, you know, we had COVID, but just to hear the actual stories now that I'm employed there, you know, those stories are a little different, because at HOCO you have Von Lassiter, you have Ryan Crawford, and then Kevin Smith come, and they all, of course, disciples of Conrad Nix, who, of course, you know, famous Northside coach. So you almost have a sense of, I was at Northside before, because you have those stories, you have those connections now that you've met through them. So, you know, had a little foundation, because first of all, you knew everybody. I didn't know the building. I didn't know the community, you know, and that happened pretty quick to get to know them to a point where, you know, now we rolling, but you have a different type of responsibility than what you had, you know, at a house and county. You know, it's you're not Northside, and this is the standard, and this is what we're going to do. And here we go. So, you know, we all got back together, and of course we start off, we got the pranks, we got this, we got that, and you know, and we just do what we, you know, have to do to keep a lively staff. I've been one of those, whereas, you know, I try to keep certain things off the head coach's desk, and I'm doing that, and I'm doing it for Chad Alligood, who I went to kindergarten with. And so it's a little different, you know, but it's good different, because I know him well enough to know, you know, what he needs to hear and what, that don't need to go to him. We good. I'll take care of it, you know. So, you know, that's kind of one of those things in which, you know, you learn, you know, on the way, and you're fortunate to possibly get a job in which now you're getting paid to do it. And so that's kind of, you know, how that assistant head and assistant athletic director stuff came from for now, because you've been doing it so long, you know. Certain things that head coach don't need on his day, especially on game day, you know. He don't need to know that kid don't have any socks. Go get him some, you know.
Yeah.
You know, man, we got 2 number 42s tonight. Well, shoot, we had them last week too, guys. I mean, you know, that young 42 probably ain't gonna play. But if he do, how about we don't put him out there at the same time? You know, you know,
stuff we can control.
Right. You know, the TV busted. Well, we ain't used to having these TVs anyway. So, I mean, let's go. How about we just use one of them? And then the coach look at that like you're crazy. Yeah, we're just going to use one TV tonight, you know.
We'll tell him later.
Yeah, we'll tell him later, because he got to put the purchase order in to buy it. But don't worry about it. Don't worry about that today. So
when I was part of the Goon Squad, Sam made it abundantly clear that if he ever asked how things went, the answer was everything was good, boss.
Everything good, boss. That's it. And you introduced me to the term
big check.
That's it. He I don't know what in the world was going on, but we got so many names, for different folks. I didn't call him Chad Leisha like I used to, because him and his wife, and then I said one day, big chick, and you know how it is. I don't know how much you make or how much. Sometimes I don't know how much I make, but I know his chick is bigger than mine, so he became big chick, and so whatever it takes, man. Those early mornings, late night, you gotta have some, humor, and and I still, got that one story that's out there that I know a lot of people, laugh and joke about, the whole ant bed thing. I still deny that to this day, because I don't have any idea what they're talking about, Coach. And, they said something about a kid had to put his hand in the ant bed, and I don't think a coach would have make a kid do something like that, and that's what they accused me of. And I told them, I said, that's just not right. But but the story behind the ant bed, for real, is at Perry, you had a certain group of kids who just, Coach Lamb, they weren't going to get in trouble. And I didn't quite understand that. You want some defensive guys that's, I don't want you to go to ISS, but I understand. And because sometimes you walk by there and say, you don't want a football player there, but you want to go get a potential football player out of ISS.
Correct.
And so, ain't nothing wrong with them getting in trouble. Them offensive guys, they want the guy to walk the straight and narrow. That's fine. He may not be a good defensive player though. But the kids, we were doing something one day, and they're screwing up because they're trying to, just be perfect with us. I said, guys, you have to understand. We got to get better, yada this, yada that. And I said, but you got to be willing to just kind of go out. I said, go just get in trouble. I said, we got robots right now. Y'all just walking around, Coach say right foot first, you're going to do that, which is fine. I said, but sometimes put your left out there and just be that guy. Just be that guy. Change it, but do it full speed, all that kind of stuff. And, and so I took a group. I was just upset one day, and there's some ant beds out there, Perry's practice field. And I said, we're going to go and be a little kid. I said, we're going to play this, and we're going to put our hand in this ant bed and see who can hold it the longest. The person who holds the longest is the winner. And so the guys looking at me, and some of them already know me, and they know I'm not about to put my hand in that ant bed. I'm acting like I am. And so I said, here we go. And I blew the whistle. We put our hand on the ground. Well, Coach Lamb, for some strange reason, Rich, I'm calling him Richard. Rich actually put his doggone hand in the ant bed. And the sad thing about it, I didn't realize it until the next day. I'm calling the office. And Andy Scott said, Harris, hey, Coach, what's up? And as I walk in there, he said, please tell me. And he got his hands on his, at the top of his nose, right there by his eyes. like he got a migraine and massaging it. He said, please tell me that this ant bed story ain't true. I said, ant bed? What are you talking about, Coach? Did you have the kids put their hand in the ant bed? I said, Coach, we were joking about that. I said, there ain't nobody. So he calls the kid in the office, and I've been knowing that kid ain't got the ants that bit all up his arm, man. I said, you got to be. I said, boy, you put your hand in the ant bed for real? He said, Coach, you told us to. I said, oh, Lord. I said, that's what I'm talking about, man. So we had one, and his granddad, he laughed, and I was very fortunate because his granddad thought it was the funniest thing. But they did. Them ants bit all his right arm just to pieces. He kept it in there. I said, did you not notice me and the other guys did not put our hand in the ant bed? But he was the one to do it. I said, you got to be kidding. So I remember him going to wrestling practice, and I said, man, look, don't put your hand in that bed when you get to wrestling practice. So he was a good kid, but that's the story as far as the ant bed is concerned. So, but like I said, I had no idea that boy put his hand there for real. I said, what are you doing? But hey, he won. He won the game. He won. So
and we tell people this stuff and they don't believe us.
They really don't, man.
And they really live with them.
Exactly. He's probably married with kids and everything
children.
Right now. Yep.
You have children. You have a son.
Mm-hmm.
I have a son. I watch him do stuff every day.
That's it.
I just shake my head.
Yeah. I had a conversation with a kid the other day. He said, Coach, how's conditioning going for track? And I said, man, things going well. I said, but right now we're trying to find that one position. I said, we'll be fine. And the kid said, Coach, what you looking for? I said, man, we need a guy to catch the javelin. And I said, I can't find any. And he said, Coach, I ain't got nothing going on this spring. I might go. And so, unfortunately, I said it right around the time when Coach Hudson was eating, and he about joked it. I said, well, Coach, he's serious heart attack, Coach Larry. I don't have anything going on. I might come out there and catch the javelin for you. I said, well, son, I'll be calling you. And so, but you have to have it, man. You have to have it. People ask how you get to those years. I used to ask the same thing, man. How you make it through it? It's great kids, man, and just great stories because you got great doggone guys you didn't work with, man. And
that's part of building your relationship with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's
it, man. And
it lets them know you care about them. I mean, you're messing with them, but
that's
they
it,
know
man.
You love them,
right? And then they'll do anything for you because they know you'll do anything for them, And you
might be the only man that he talks to all day.
Well, you're right. You're right about that. You're right, and you have to be careful because that's something that's valuable that like I said, you in charge of it. You didn't sign up for it. Now it's not in your contract, but you never know, man. That one kid, you didn't make their day. Just joking around about something. He
will catch a javelin for you.
He'll catch a javelin for me. He said, I ain't got nothing going on. I might come out here and do that. Well, I said, oh, my Lord. But so that I guess you don't know what that javelin is, of course. So, but I'm glad that he'll catch it for me, man. But
that's awesome. You're enjoying things in Peach County now.
Yeah. Now, I tell you, Peach County. I never would have thought that I would end up at Peach. I've been, like I said, from Jones County. I coach at Southwest. You always around Peach County. And for some strange reason, just never thought of it being a landing place for me. But Lionel Brown, the superintendent, he and with Dr. Brown, he and I worked together at Perry. And so, we talked and Coach Westbrook and it's been a joy, to go there. It's such a great community. It's a great school. And because of who we are and how we build this relationship, great kids gonna be at every school. I just know we focus sometime on some of the negative stuff, and then we have to be careful because you go to certain schools and this is what they said, all these years, and you realize, man, there's some great families, mixed in those schools, and it's just another example of just a great community. They want to win, and that's great to have that versus, we're just happy to be here. We don't want that. You want it, and so they're demanding. And you understand that when you sign up, to coach at a Peach County, the biggest transition for me last year was used to having, 6 cornerbacks. Used to having, that's going to play. You trying to find a way to rotate them, not just 6 in your group. You may have 15, 16 in your group, but you got some young ones, and then you have some ones that, are still developing. Then you have your guys that's playing, and I just use that position as an example because, you know, that's where you are when you 6 and 7A. And I know we getting rid of 7A, but you know, it's a blessing to have those numbers. And so now all of a sudden you come down and you don't have quite as many, but you have some football players, thank God. You just don't have as many. And I just had in my head that, you know, we're gonna play 6A ball, you know, with a 3A, you know, schedule, 3A this and that, and that's just been my mindset. So you got to recruit them out the hallway, man. You got to get them out of there. And we've pulled some from the hallway. We pulled some from you know, watching a kid wrestle. All of a sudden, hey man, I need you to come out. You might be able to play linebacker for me now, or something, you know. And so that's what we've really been hounding on, you know, the kids walking the hallway. I know that some of them probably got tired of me when I first got there because I said, man, I need you to come out and play football. I need you to do this, you know. And I was volunteering, helping for track, and end up, you know, getting some guys who said, you know, they were strictly track guys, and now they, of course, they playing football because you know, you showed them, you know, some love, and you built that relationship to a point where I'm not gonna try to hurt you, you know, and we still want to get something out of football. We was talking today, you know, we have character education, of course, on Wednesdays. Most, you know, programs do, and speaking to guys from the defensive side of the ball, and, you know, Coach Tanner Smith does the, you know, offensive side of the ball, but you're still trying to build that relationship, and you want them to understand you. So you want to put your stamp on it. And I told them, I said, guys, we're not far. We haven't got so far that the defense, you know, has the defense coordinators, you know, mentality, same as the offense, the special teams, the head coach. I said, we haven't changed football or any sport to that point where that's not the case. And I said, but in order to get to that, we got to do things away from, you know, away from ball, away from the school. And, you know, with us coming in last February, it was tough because you're trying to find a way to, you know, field a team, trying to find a way to, you know, how does it work here, you know? I mean, simple things like you going from 7 periods over at Northside to block schedule, 4 classes, you know, and, you know, just those kind of things. And you know, you got to build trust from kid, you know. Coach Campbell was there forever. And now that staff is gone, and you got to earn those kids' trust. And,
right.
You know, and unfortunately for some kids, it took a little bit longer than others. But, you know, when that thing started clicking, it was, you know, last year, it was beautiful to watch. And, you know, and I know everybody, you know, feel a certain way how that season ended. And I know people probably, you know, who follow me on Twitter, you know I was quite upset. But that's another thing that comes with the profession, you know. It's just unfortunate sometimes. But like I said, just the you know, the different scene and scenery, the different this and that. It's been a lot of fun, man. It's a beautiful place, man.
Well, that's awesome. And I know that you enjoy dealing with your son, who you affectionately refer to as Two.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping him busy.
Yeah, it's you know, it's your opportunity, you know, to have your son. You know, I have 2 older daughters. Both of them, you know, my oldest played tennis. My middle one, she, you know, did track. But and everybody, you know, was trying to get me to understand, you know, my wife and I, you know, we're respecting that, you know, boys are different. And, you know, I'm thinking, you talking to a male, how you going to tell me boys are different? I know I don't have any female experience, but I got 30 some years of experience as a male. I know we different. We have to be different, but those people were hitting it dead on, man. Raising this young man has been different. You know, I was spoiled by my 2 girls now, don't get me wrong, but just the responsibility behind raising a male is it's something else, man. And I know, you know, we have some negative examples in in society, but you know, you want to do it right. I put out a picture when we was at Hoko. You know, your kids, when they little, man, they just want to see daddy. They ain't seen dad all week. So at the football game, after the game, he's gonna run out the sign with me and run through the sign, that's like a Super Bowl. You know, it's just so much fun. Then after the game, win, lose, or draw, he can kill us about the numbers up there on either side. He's gonna run out there and he's gonna jump in Daddy's arms. Correct. And someone took that picture, and I was just, you know, talking in his ear, and I want to say we had just won a close game, you know, and I saw that picture and I put it out on Twitter, and I said I don't know, I was just led to say I have one chance. And what I meant by that tweet was, you know, this is my only son, and we're done having children, but I got one chance to raise a male, in which it's a tough task to raise either one of them. But I got one chance at this little boy right here, and I don't take it lightly. I'm gonna screw some things up, but as a whole, I'm gonna try to make sure he's a responsible, you know, young man. He's respectable. You know, he shows respect, he earns respect, and just as an adult, hopefully he can go out and function, you know, the right way. And that's it. You know, I think we put so much, you know, on it as far as raising kids to a point we don't want to screw up. Well, let's go screw up. Let's go figure it out, you know. But when I say screw up, I'm trying to learn, because this kid right here is different from the kids that I have in class, different from my daughters. So in the process of trying to make sure I do the best by him, I like saying I'm going to screw up some stuff, you know. I'm not going to listen to him sometimes because I'm mad, you know. So I screwed up that situation. Let me go fix it, you know, and that type of thing. But I'm trying to make sure that this young man becomes, you know, like I say, productive to a point where he functions in society and understands how to get something out of this thing called enjoyment. Because that's one thing people could say, you know, when it's all said and done, Coach, they gonna say, hey, that cat right there, he enjoyed himself now. He had a good time. So stop all that crying. Go get that chicken and them greens and eat. And because it's gonna go quick, you know. But them coaches gonna eat, you know. but just rest assured that Rod Harris had a great time, and that's what I want. You know, make sure they understand, my girls and too. But like I said, man, we try to keep them busy and just, you know, make sure they understand it's you know, it's a lot of different opportunities out there, and it's up to you to go take advantage of them. So.
Well, and I just wanted to bring him up just because what you had said earlier, talking to the younger coaches about. Tell me about your family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, things like that. Because like I was texting Tanner the other day, and he said something about figuring out a way to score.
Mm-hmm.
And then. You know, being a new father.
Right.
I said, don't worry about scoring. Being a father is heap more important than that.
Yeah, go win that game right there, because like I said, you can't get it back, and that's what I mean by, you know, I got one chance, man. I got one chance with this kid, and you know, like I said, I don't want to screw it up, and so I'm gonna do those things. And so far, man, you know, just a great little kid, man, and you know, people talk about, you know, your children, man, he's a great kid, and you say, well, give me something negative, you know, give me something negative, and you realize you're doing a halfway decent job, you know, and you know, I pick at Tanner, you know, like I say, newlywed, and got that under the belt now, new parents, you know, and he told me something the other day that says he's listening to somebody. It may not be Rod Harris, but he listens to somebody with, you know, that got some sense, because he said he walked in the house and Jessica had that look on her face, and he said, give me the baby. And you go and you know, give me the baby. Hand me the baby. You go and do whatever you need to do. Get in the car, just, you know, and you have those conversations, man. Thank God that we can do that for each other, because, you know, I learned something from the great Don Hudson, and I think Von Lasseter even mentioned this a while ago. Yeah, even Von Lasseter. I'm just joking. But he said, you know, he's talking about date night, you know. And man, I got time for that, man. I got game Friday now. And he said, man, look, you might want to, you know, find a little time, and, you know, and all of a sudden you get a different position, like, you know, coordinate on the end of it, you know, and you have a little bit more time Thursday. You have a little bit more, you know, whatever. And you know what, I need to probably take my wife out and date her, you know, and those kind of things. You pass that on, but I'm happy that I'm able to pass it on quicker.
Right.
You know, somebody who been married 2 years versus somebody who been in that thing 20-some years, and you just not dating your wife, and she, you know, she on that brink of choking you, and you finally realize, you know, hey, I got some time, and you just got to be smart with that time. So, like I said, and Tanner's, you know, one of those that he listened and got some, you know, some other young guys, man, that are just, you know, they soak up that good information. You know, you got some that got to be hard-headed. It is what it is, but, you know, they catch on and understand it. I'm just happy I'm able to give it to them as early as possible. So,
well, I appreciate your friendship, and I appreciate you being an ambassador for coaches to everybody in this game. And I hope you keep doing it as long as you want to, Doctor.
Well, like I said, I told you earlier, I'm trying to get this information as far as these people who retire, because I'm trying to figure out why they come back and sub. I don't have any desire to do that, but it's amazing how many come back and say they want to get out the house. Well, I don't think I'm gonna go somewhere else. I'm gonna come hang out with Chris Lamb and shank a golf ball now, because I don't want to hold your game up. You hit them good, and mine go in the woods somewhere. But with me living on the course, I have plenty of balls that I get in my backyard, so I ain't gonna hold your golf game up. But I sure don't want to sub. But I know it, man.
Anytime.
I appreciate it. I sure appreciate it, man.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you. And can't wait till we get together again.
All right. Sounds like a winner, man. Anytime now.